I wanted Democrats to stop gaslighting American citizens and acknowledge what was going on in the country and provide their solutions for it.
He didn't win. He didn't win.
I'll be damned if a group like this is gonna shut someone like me up about what Israel is doing to the Palestinian people. And these are the worst people, man. They really are.
Get the F out of here.
Kamala Harris stood in front of a mic, smirking as she said, "I'm not here to say I told you so, but Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur, they called BS on TYT. They didn't just critique her, they exposed her as part of the machine that enabled Trump's return. This isn't about petty politics. This is the truth about how Democratic elites gaslit their own base, and now they want to pretend they were the heroes. Let's break this down."
Because, there were many things that we knew would happen. Many things. I'm not here to say I told you so.
I'm just gonna go to you because, no, I'm gonna say it. You were a crappy candidate. And you were part of a group of people who provided cover for a man who was falling apart mentally speaking.
This ain't just frustration. This is Anna firing the first real shot at the Democratic elite. She's saying what most corporate media won't. Kamala didn't just fail, she helped rig the system against real progress. They knew Biden wasn't fit, and they still ran him. That's not strategy, that's sabotage from within.
But decided to run anyway. Decided to stay in the race for a month after that disastrous debate against Donald Trump. And then when Biden, the most unpopular sitting president, called you up before the debate and told you, remember kiddo, no daylight between us, do not differentiate yourself from me, you listened. So to sit there or stand there and give a speech about, I told you so, I told you so. These are the worst people, man. They really are, okay? No, we all knew what Donald Trump was. We all knew. And for all the Democratic ass kissers out there who provided cover for the bad behavior of that administration, they directed their ire toward people like us who kept warning the Democrats, you're gonna lose to Trump, you're gonna lose to Trump, you're pushing unpopular policies, you're gaslighting Americans on the issue of immigration.
This right here is the systemic link. The Democrats don't lose to Trump because he's strong, they lose because they lie to us. They paint over real crises with woke language and expect applause, but working people see through it. Anna's exposing how both parties weaponize fear just with different language.
If you do that, that creates an opening for someone like Donald Trump to come in and do what he's doing in regard to mass deportations, do what he's doing in regard to literally deporting people before they even have a single day in front of a judge to adjudicate whether or not they're undocumented, to adjudicate whether or not they're actually gang members.
Yeah.
So for all, by the way, all the left-wing media folks who directed their ire toward me, and they're like, you see that? Anna's getting what she wants. No, I'm not getting what I wanted. I wanted Democrats to stop gaslighting American citizens and acknowledge what was going on in the country and provide their solutions for it.
Too much to ask for.
Too much to ask for. Anna's the problem. Big, strong, big, bad Anna. With all of her power, she's the one who swung the election, right? I can't stand these people. They're the worst. They're the worst.
When does it cross over to authoritarianism? Well, step one is Trump saying, I would like to be authoritarian. I would like to imprison people who said that I lost the last election. Well, I got bad news for you, Donald Trump. 70% of the country thinks you lost the last election. Another 30% have been massively lied to by you and right-wing media. Donald Trump didn't come close to winning that election. Now, if we were to cheat as Democrats, et cetera, then why didn't they cheat in 2024? Why didn't they cheat in 2016? You could just get all the BS excuses. Why did Donald Trump lose 61 cases in a row? BS excuses. No, in the reality-based world, look, Trump already won 2 terms. He's president right now. He's got another 4 brutal years ahead of him, okay? Brutal for us. Can you just let it go?
This is Cenk sounding the alarm. The system's breaking. Trump is steamrolling truth and Democrats are still playing PR games. TYT is finally admitting if the courts cave next, we slide into full authoritarianism. And guess who helped pave that road? Kamala, Pelosi, Schumer, all of them.
Guys, Trump and MAGA, He didn't win the 2020 election. No sane person thinks 61 court cases in a row, including Trump-appointed judges, were all like, oh, we're in on it, or we're scared of black rioters. Oh, no, he didn't win. He didn't win. Jesus Christ, man. What a bunch of sore loser crybabies, especially after he won in 2024, and he's currently the president. Okay. Now, apparently, though, 70% of the country can get arrested and investigated by the Justice Department. So Trump is already authoritarian. He's declaring, I would love to trash the Constitution, weaponize the Justice Department, and go after my political opponents and anyone who dares tell the truth about the 2020 election. So that's exactly why I voted against him. Number two is Justice Department. The Justice Department is not supposed to be Donald Trump's personal attorney. They're supposed to actually represent the American people. No sane Justice Department or decent or honest Justice Department would pick up this investigation. Will Pam Bondi do it? Of course she will. She was picked to serve Trump, not the American people. She will betray the American people. She'll violate her oath in office, and she'll do exactly as Trump orders her. That's step two. Step three is the most important step by far. This eventually will get to the courts. So if they bring in Chris Krebs to a court and they say, he said that Donald Trump didn't win the 2020 election, we want to throw him in a gulag, right? The courts have to say, get the F out of here. No, we're not gonna let you arrest people and put them in jail because they accurately believe that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. So I believe the courts will do that. I believe the courts will easily throw away these garbage cases that are totally unconstitutional. But if the courts don't hold, then that's it. Then we've slipped into authoritarianism, and then, hey, everybody's fair game, because the overwhelming majority of the country thinks he lost that election, because he did lose that election. What he's targeting here is not just his political opponents. He's targeting the truth, because Donald Trump hates the truth. He's a legendary, lifelong con man. He loves lying. He's a pathological liar. And he's so deeply insecure. He's one of the weakest people I have ever seen in public life. So he's like, he can't deal psychologically with the fact that he lost. He lost the 2020 election. And his thin skin knows no bounds. Brother, you're the president. You're the commander-in-chief. Focus on the goddamn job. Instead of, my feelings were hurt in 2020. They thought I was a loser, because you were. But it doesn't matter because you won this election. But nope. Donald Trump's ego must be satiated, even if you have to burn the Constitution to do it.
The current Israeli government, which I see as distinct from the people, the civilians of Israel, is evil. What they are doing is ethnic cleansing in Gaza.
Anna's not mincing words anymore. While Kamala plays identity politics, she's silent on genocide, silent on mass death. This is the split, real left versus elite left. And Anna's finally calling it. Kamala Harris stood by while Biden armed apartheid. She wants credit for seeing it coming. She was part of the fucking convoy.
Gaza at best, and a genocide at worst. At worst. So that is the reality. We all see what's happening on the ground. And while they're doing everything they can to intimidate anyone who dares to speak the truth about what's happening on the ground, they're not going to win this PR nightmare for, pro-Israel interest groups. Because when you see video after video after video of a mother wailing on top of their child who is dead as a result of these aerial bombardments, when you see a father holding his decapitated baby as a result of what the IDF is doing in the Gaza Strip, there's no level of intimidation from a disgusting group like this that's gonna shut people like me up, that's for sure. We all see what's happening. I am the child, okay? I am the product of ancestors who suffered a genocide. And I'll be damned if a group like this is gonna shut someone like me up about what Israel is doing to the Palestinian people, not just in the Gaza Strip, but also the West Bank. I hope Miss Rachel stays strong. I hope she understands this is just an attempt to intimidate her and nothing more. And shame on the Trump administration for, in various examples that we've talked about on this show, going along with these intimidation tactics on behalf of a foreign country? Is it America and Americans first, or is it Israel first? Because so far what we've seen from the Trump administration is Israel comes first, America might come second. Are you gonna be a puppet for a foreign government, or are you gonna serve your people and protect them from these intimidation tactics? I think we all know what the answer is, and it grosses me out beyond words.
You think you're gonna get spending cuts, right-wingers? The right-wing base? You're not gonna get any spending cuts. Even if all the spending cuts through Doge were real, that's $130 billion. That leaves you $5.2 trillion in a deficit hole. So even if everything they said was true, you'd still have almost no cuts. And you would do the giant giveaways for corporations and the richest people in America anyway. They're about to redistribute wealth from the middle to the top. This is the greatest robbery. And in fact, that's part of the reason why we have all this tariff talk. So you don't notice while they rob you of $5.3 trillion. So that's why I've been harping on it nonstop. And because I don't want people to forget this, because when we look back at the Trump administration, the one thing that everyone's gonna talk about is not the tariffs, is not anything that's happened so far. It's not gonna be Greenland, it's not gonna be Gulf of America. It's going to be, oh my God, they gave away the biggest tax cut in history to the richest people in the history of the world. As if they didn't have enough, they gave them $5 trillion more from American taxpayers. The middle class eventually has to pay all this bill. And how are they gonna pay it? They're gonna cut Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, all that stuff is inevitable if they keep passing gigantic trillion-dollar tax cuts for the richest people in the world. So that's what's headed next. So the thing that's certain is that the uniparty and the donor class always win. So Joe Biden told the donors nothing will fundamentally change. At least he was more honest about it. Everybody knew that Joe Biden was for the establishment and for the status quo. Trump comes in like, oh, I'm a populist, man. Oh, average American, man, I hate these guys and that guys and I'm on your side. Oh, we're gonna go get the rich. These suckers. These suckers. I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm not gonna do the spending cuts. I'm not gonna do anything except give myself and all my rich friends literally trillions of dollars. This is not theoretical or hypothetical. They just pass it in the House. It's the blueprint. Eventually they get to a point where they have to actually pass it in the House, the Senate, and the president has to sign it. But in order for the bill to get derailed, the incredibly greedy, the incredibly corrupt uniparty Republicans, which is 99% of them, are gonna say no to $5 trillion in tax cuts for their donors? I've got that at near zero chance. There would have to be some sort of actualist populist rebellion / revolution to prevent these tax cuts from getting into place. And because the one thing that always passes in Washington, they make a lot of promises to the left, a lot of promises to the right, a lot of promises to the middle. Those never happen. The one thing that always happens is tax cuts for the rich and for corporations. So this train is headed 100 miles in our direction. And can there be a populist revolt in time to derail this? Very, very, very unlikely. So you're about to get robbed on a scale we haven't seen in a long, long time. This would be the largest tax cut in American history. And while everybody's distracted with the tariffs, they're just boom, they're getting it past everyone. And by the way, mainstream media and the Democratic Party, are they going nuts over it? Oh, yeah, they are. They're getting ready now. Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries are warming up, going, there was nothing we could do. There was nothing we could do. There was nothing we could do. They're getting ready. They're getting ready to sing it because that's what's gonna happen.
Well, you know how I feel about the Gaza Strip. I think it's an incredible piece of important real estate. And I think it's something that we would be involved in, but having a peace force like the United States there, controlling and owning the Gaza Strip would be a good thing.
So in other words, we're going to send the men and women of our armed forces to the Gaza Strip, boots on the ground, to serve as a peace force because Donald Trump sees the Gaza Strip as a very important piece of real estate. It's disgusting. Like this whole thing is so utterly disgusting. Yeah. Absolutely. Not only is the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians disgusting, Cenk, but the idea of us potentially risking the lives of our soldiers. Let's keep it real on behalf of Israel. That's what this is really about. You think Israel's gonna be like, yeah, this belongs to the United States, which by the way, I don't want it. Even if that was true, I wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
But it's not about the United States owning important real estate. This is about doing favors for Israel, in which, by the way, Donald Trump has been doing an excellent job.
This isn't just about Kamala or Biden or Trump. It's about how the system recycles failure, rewards liars, and crushes dissent. If you're done with the gaslighting, if you're done being used by these elite phonies, smash that subscribe, share this with 3 people, and drop the mask is off in the comments. Stay sharp, stay critical, and never forget, they only gaslight when the truth starts to burn. Peace out.